Sugar spike of the day. Oh no, that is not our major sugar spike of the day.
In this day and time, we need a Savior. Time is winding up, and there is so much to do. I must ask of you the simple word. Sing the song when my Savior comes. Be ready, be ready, be ready. I love you, Lord, because you died on Calvary for you and me. The question is, will you be ready when my Savior comes? When it comes,
Major sugar spike.
oh God. You see, this is the part that I like. So love the world. I want to fight. I want to fight. That he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And
We win the politics.
shall ever believe they shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Take us out, Moose.
I want to know, I must ask of you the simple word.
Hey, hey, y'all. Hey. What is up, y'all? What is up? What is up? We are here. We are here. We are cold, but yet we're still here. Listen, y'all. I made sure I came live today because I know I'm going to be out of town this weekend, and I was not live yesterday, and I owe y'all me some parts of me, so I'm going to be live now. We should not be here longer than maybe an hour. My goal is to be getting out of here by 5:30 because I got a lot of stuff to do today. But I wanted to come. So we'll have a sugar spike live now. Myself and really B we're gonna do a panel tonight on her channel on Black Cake. So we'll be on Really B's channel tonight at 8:30 on Black Cake. Um, and that'll be on Black Cake. So you can look forward to that tonight. So those are our programming notes for today. Listen, y'all, we got a lot of spiky moments. I'm just letting you know that now. A lot of trigger warnings, a lot of spiky moments, a lot of shit that we be like that normally we be like, listen, I just can't. Um and yeah, we just got to do it. Like we always say, somebody has to bear witness. So we're going to do that today. Um, let me say hi to y'all, and let me say hi to y'all and take some attendance while I'm here. Lemon Kush Pepper, what's going on, my love? Still I Sylvia, hey boo, what's going on? Volvo, hey Cookie. Morgan, you are here. What's going on? I didn't really give excuse me, I didn't give YouTube a chance to send notifications out. I just basically set it up and um went live and so notifications did not go out. So if y'all could do me a solid and hit the like button if you can, and we'll share it out. Let the people know that we are here, and we'll go from there. So let's go. Let's the first. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. The first story that we're going to do today is the story that went viral. I was supposed to do half of these stories I was supposed to do on Tuesday, but because I went long on Tuesday with the celebrity gossip, I didn't get a chance to really hit my sugar spiky moments. And I was supposed to do it yesterday, but Wednesday, I'll be honest with y'all, Wednesdays are very busy for me. And so I really don't get a chance to really me going live on a Wednesday is really hard because I have so many things going on Wednesday afternoon. So that's why I wasn't able to go live yesterday. But alas, I am here today. Hey, Tracy C. Hey, Sharice. So we're going to start with this video that went viral the other day. I am going to give you a trigger warning. Hey, lovely 31 Blueprint. What's going on, my love? Let me get this set up for y'all. All right. All right. All right. My internet has been real wonky the last couple of days. Trigger warning. This is the video.
They held a protest Monday night in response to the viral video showing a police officer using a stun gun on a handcuffed man. We want to warn you, you might find this video disturbing. After an exchange of words, the police officer pulls the trigger on the stun gun and then asks,
"You want it again? No, man. Shut the f up. You was big and bad."
She could then be heard calling him an explicit name.
She tased him in the back, and she was holding it. She was just holding it there until he started crying.
Jalexis Rice, girlfriend of Micaiah Washington, says this all started when her boyfriend and two others were changing a tire of the car they were driving. She says that's when the officer in the video pulled up, eventually putting her boyfriend in handcuffs and tasing him.
When I seen it, I couldn't do nothing but cry.
Following his arrest, Washington was booked into the Pickens County Jail on several charges. He has a bond of $500,000. In a statement, Reform's police chief and mayor said they're aware of the video and the police officer has been placed on administrative leave. However, people attending Monday's rally say they want more done.
She needs to be fired, and I feel like she can leave and go somewhere else and do it if they don't hold her accountable for nothing. You are police. You here to protect and serve us. How do we supposed to trust you and this how you treat us?
It hurt my feelings for real.
In the statement from the mayor and police chief, they said in part, the department is in the process of turning over all materials related to this arrest to the Alabama State Bureau of Investigation, and it's requested a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the arrest.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and time.
All right. So that's the background of what happened. Okay, now let me give you some more background. Here's why she stopped him. He was on the side of the road literally changing his tire. Let's start there. It wasn't like he was breaking traffic laws. He was literally on the side of the road. He was literally on the side of the road changing his tire. Let me say that again. The man was on the side of the road changing his tire. Hey, Rabin, I must say that one more time because maybe it's getting lost in the translation. The man was literally on the side of the road changing his tire. He was approached by this police officer. Her name is Dana, I want to say Edmond. Now, I do have the unfiltered video. Let me show you the unedited and unfiltered video. I wanted to show you the video that you see with police coverage, but now let me show you the unabridged video because I wanted y'all to see how the police are covering it, but then how it really went down. Okay, here's the unabridged video if and when this comes up. Come on now. All right, here's the video.
Stand up. Right there on the front of the car. Stay straight.
I ain't doing I got gun right there. I'm not doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying what you saying. Oh yeah, fuck. I'm not. Oh my god. Okay. Down. Oh my fuck. Oh my god. Oh god.
You want it again?
No,
Shut the You was big and bad. Shut your
Now, you notice every time you see it, they edit out the part where she says, because after she says, do you want it again? She says, shut your bitch ass up. That's what she said. After she stunned him, she proceeds to say, shut your bitch ass up. Now, the man is already handcuffed. I started by telling you the man was on the side of the road changing his tire. She stops him, hey Pinky Tiki, and she goes over there, she handcuffs him. He's handcuffed. He's already subdued. He is not resisting. She throws him on the hood of the car. He tells her, hey, I have a gun, which is not illegal in these yet to be United States of America. In most of these red ass states, they tout their ability to carry gun and their right to carry guns and so forth, and will fight you about the right to carry guns unless it's black people carrying guns, and then they have a problem with people having guns all of a sudden. He tells her, hey, I do have a gun. She takes the gun out, and that's where you hear her say, oh yeah. And because like now, oh, you going down now. And so she then stuns him for no reason. None at all. Her name is Dana Elmore. I said Edmond. Her name is Dana Elmore, excuse me. And that's when she said, you want it again? And because he, started crying, and she was like, shut your bitch ass up. This is what we have going on. Now, the mayor of the city, I forgot what city this was in. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's Reform, Alabama in Pickens County. The mayor is a black woman named Melody Davis. She and the police chief, Richard Black, who's white, they were doing everything in their power to hide the name of this white woman. But it started to come out. Her name is Dana Elmore. They've been trying to cover her and protect her because you know how they feel about white women. But what sickens me is this black man who, like I said, was on the side of the road changing his tires. Now, to cover her own ass, because she knows she was wrong, she did what police teach each other to do. Throw a whole bunch of charges at this person, because you can make up and find any reason to charge somebody. Oh, they were resisting arrest. Oh, they were obstructing justice. Oh, this, that, and the third. His charges are obstructing governmental operations, resisting arrest, marijuana possession, drug trafficking, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. He's being held on $500,000 bond. I'm just glad he's not a hashtag right now and not dead, because once he said he had a gun on him, whether or not he was handcuffed or not, that's grounds enough for some of these officers to just go ahead and off you and kill you right then and there. That's enough grounds right there for them to take your life. That's why she was like, "Oh yeah." Now they have been protesting in that city, which is a majority black city. The district attorney, um, uh, Andy Hamlin, has not yet said whether charges will be pressed against the officer Dana Elman. She right now is on paid administrative leave. Hey, Tracy W. So we don't know yet what's going to go on with that, but she's still being paid. That black man, did nothing. But you see what happened. We'll continue to monitor the situation. As of right now, there are no charges yet. It's still under investigation, and the officer Dana Elmore is still on paid administrative leave. We're waiting to see what the district attorney says. But the mayor, Melody Davis, and the police chief, what's the police chief name? Richard Black, they ain't shit. Because like I said, they were doing everything in their power to protect this woman, this police officer, and the fact that she assaulted this man against which should be against police protocol and policy. You would think that something like this would be against police protocol and policy. Now, let's be clear. Him being a felon and all of this stuff is notwithstanding to me, because we started off by telling you the man was doing nothing but being a black man, changing his tire on the side of the road. And I guess she felt like she had hit the jackpot at that point, because she probably said, "Let me see your license and everything," ran his record, saw that he was a convicted fella, and said, "Oh yeah, let me take him down some more." And the man really didn't do anything wrong. Here we are. Here we are in more sugar spiky news. Yeah, we got we got a lot of spiky news today. The man's name who was the victim of this atrocity, his name is his first name is Micah. I know that. Micah Washington is his name. He's 24 years old. Micah, Micah Washington is his last name. Hey, Yana. Hey, y'all. I've been listening in the background while I was taking a reservation. Gotta go get the Airbnb ready, but I'm listening. All right, no problem, Yana. You know we always here. We always here. So let me read this story to you. If you are easily triggered, I'm warning you now. This story is a trigger warning. Let me read this article. Shauna Garner White, the mother of Alleged Jones, a 17-year-old girl who passed away in the custody of a Tennessee group home, is seeking answers regarding the details of her daughter's death. Her daughter's name is Alleged Jones. First name is spelled Alegend. Last name is Jones, Jones. 17-year-old black girl whose life has been ended. Witnesses shared that with the family and its representatives that male counselors beat the girl and claimed a claim the facility vehemently denies. Garner White has hired civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump to get to the bottom of the suspicious circumstances surrounding what happened at the Youth Villages group home on the Bartlett, Tennessee campus just outside of Memphis on November 16th. That day, Jones was rushed to the alleged Jones was rushed to the hospital from the facility because of a medical emergency and died the next day from her mysterious injuries. Hey, Danny, what's going on? The Shelby County Medical Examiner has not released the results of alleged Jones's autopsy. Benjamin Crump said last week he spoke to the doctors and was told that Jones probably died from a brain bleed. Now the family has retained a forensic pathologist to perform an independent autopsy. The goal, according to the lawyer, is to put, quote, the puzzle together to get to the truth so we can get justice for this child, this 17-year-old child, end of quote. Representatives from Youth Villages group home have not released the details about what happened, but confirmed that something occurred on one of its campuses on the day alleged Jones was taken to the hospital. This is what a statement from the group home. What they said in the statement was, quote, a young person in our care experienced a medical emergency. We do not know the cause of the medical emergency, end of quote. Officials further stated they are following confidentiality laws about children receiving mental and behavioral health care and are unable to comment on specific cases, adding, quote, there were no abusive or otherwise inappropriate actions directed toward the young person, end of quote. Crump says that is not true. In a statement to news outlets, here's what Benjamin Crump says, quote, a legend, a 17-year-old female was told to remove her clothes while she was at the health department. She did not want to take off her clothes in front of two male counselors, end of quote. That's what Crump said happened at the group home. He further alleges that the alleged was beaten by the male counselors and that police were only called after one of the counselors body slammed her. From there, the family says the girl was returned to the group home where it is alleged that over a dozen counselors at Youth Villages group home assaulted and battered this teenage child. In the statement from Crump, he said, quote, we don't know if there's video that captured the interactions between the counselors who were supposed to be trained to deal with troubled youth and this teenager. But we do know, what we do know is whatever transpired ended up with the neurologist telling Shauna, that's the mother, that they believe the cause of death is that she died from a brain bleed. End of quote. How you get a brain bleed and they didn't do nothing to you? Your brain just doesn't start bleeding by itself. Now, we're my medical experts in the room. I got a bunch of medical experts. I don't know that your brain just randomly just starts bleeding without some type of blunt force trauma or something happens to cause it. Hey, Cams, her mom, who is a Chicago resident who sent her daughter, now the mom has 6 children and the daughter is number 6 of 12. And the mom sent the daughter to this Tennessee group home. And she said that she was baffled by how an institution that was supposed to help her get Legend Jones back on track for a brighter future would be at the center of her premature demise. This is just sad. The mother sent her daughter, who was a sexual assault survivor, to the facility to assist her in dealing with mental wellness issues 2 months before the tragedy. So the daughter was already dealing with the fact that she had been the victim of a sexual assault. And she was having such a hard time at it. The mom sent her to this facility to get help. And now that same facility is the reason why this young lady is no longer with us. Alleged Jones was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, manic depression, and bipolar disorder due to a sexual assault that occurred when she was 14. She was diagnosed with all of this after the sexual assault she um, was the victim of when she was 14. She was also processing her father's death by suicide. So the child had a lot going on mentally, a lot that even some adults wouldn't be able to handle, much less a child. Um, the mother says that she asked Department of Children and Family Services for help because her daughter had mental health issues, and that they agreed that she would keep custody, but that DCFS would do guardianship. Alleged Jones's death is under investigation by the Bartlett Police Department and the Tennessee Department of Children's Services. Um, this is a mess. This is a whole mess because now this facility knew ahead of time that this girl was the victim of sexual assault. They knew the diagnoses that the girl had already received. They knew that she was under intense mental and emotional duress, which is why she was there. And this girl then had to then be subject to more sexual assault at the hands of the people who were supposed to be helping her. The girl was, according to witnesses, assaulted physically by these people when she refused to take off her clothes. So much so, she was slammed to the ground. And it's only when she was slammed to the ground that they called for medical attention, and she was sent to the hospital. Now they trying to paint it as some mysterious, magical medical emergency happened all on its own, and they didn't have anything to do with it. Somebody needs to go to jail for a long time, for a long time, for a long time. This is a mess. A damn mess. In more sugar spiky news, this is the story of Officer Tayson Crutchfield, and I teased this story on Tuesday. I was supposed to cover it on Tuesday, but we'll get to it today. Let me read this to you. A Black Pasadena, California cop is suing her department after she claims she experienced retaliation and discrimination while on the job. The lawsuit filed by Tayson Crutchfield outlined an encounter that happened after the January fatal shooting of Charles Towns, a Black man, involving deputies from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. A month later, police responded to a call regarding Charles Towns's two children, one of whom was upset over their father's recent death at the hands of law enforcement. According to reports, one of the colleagues of Officer Crutchfield allegedly put one of the sons of Charles Towns, they put one of the sons' face near a cactus-like plant. A 16-minute body camera footage 16-minute body camera footage released by the department in June shows Tayson Crutchfield subtly shoving the officer, going back and forth with one of the people at the scene. Quote, Officer Tayson Crutchfield fortunately followed statewide police training and intervened to de-escalate the situation. Officer Crutchfield deserved a commendation for her swift and heroic actions avoiding needless violence. Instead, she was relieved of duty and punished. Our lawsuit is about righting the wrong that Officer Crutchfield suffered from, and that's according to a statement from Officer Crutchfield's attorney. The police sergeant instructed during the incident, the police sergeant instructed Officer Crutchfield to go back to the police station, and she was placed on paid administrative leave without an explanation. That's according to the reports. However, Officer Crutchfield, who has both a bachelor's and master's degree in criminology, um, was not able to return to her position. The filing also reportedly highlights an alleged racist culture inside the department, including those who used racial slurs but were still given promotions. Her father, Officer Crutchfield's father, spoke on her behalf at a press conference last Friday, saying Officer Crutchfield wanted to be an officer to, quote, bridge the gap that exists all over America between police departments and inner cities communities, end of quote. Um, in a statement, the city of Pasadena opposed Officer Crutchfield's claims, and they are claiming that they will be vindicated in this situation. In that statement, they said, quote, the city will vigorously defend itself in this matter and the facts will prevail. The Pasadena Police Department proudly serves the residents of Pasadena with honor and integrity and is proud of its diversity throughout all ranks of the department. End of quote. So hey Montrez, so here's what we had go on. Charles Towns was killed by the police. One of the sons was, angry about the police killing of his dad, is still reacting as a child would, having seen the death of his father at the hands of law enforcement. So someone called police because he was just acting out and having an episode. One of the officers during this time took the boy and shoved his face toward a cactus-like plant as if he was going to push his face into the plant and harm or injure that boy. Officer Crutchfield, who followed training and protocol, pushed the officer out of the way and intervened in order to de-escalate the situation. The sergeant on duty then forced Officer Crutchfield to return back to the police station. Upon her return and the sergeant's return, she was then placed on paid administrative leave. She was placed on paid administrative leave, not the officer that assaulted this boy, and was not allowed to return to her position. That's what we got going on. Instead of her, like they said, receiving commendations for following protocol, for correctly de-escalating a situation, she was put on paid administrative leave as if she had been the one that assaulted the young man. That's what we have going on. And this is in Pasadena, California, the bluest of bluest areas in the bluest of blue states. That's why I keep telling y'all, there's no safe place in these yet to be United States of America. There's no safe place. We got to keep going, so I stick to my timeline. In more, hey SJ, hey Montrez, in more sugar spiky news. For those of y'all just coming in, I did come live early because I got a lot to do today, and I wanted to come live early so that I could give y'all some of myself and be able to get back to getting some of this work done. I got to get done before I go out of town tomorrow. So y'all remember the whole situation with College Board and the AP African American Studies course. That whole situation earlier this year, where Governor Death Sentence Ron DeSantis said that Florida would not be participating in it because we want no parts of teaching Black people really what they the history of this country. And then other racist ass Republican governors started to follow suit. Well, College Board has acquiesced to the demands of these racist and bigoted governors and changed the course officially. Oh, Danny says Pasadena is red, not blue, and that the racism is real. I thought Pasadena was just outside of L.A. I could be wrong. Danny lives in California, so she knows better than me. But I really thought Pasadena was just outside of LA. I could be wrong. Don't make me lie. Well, let me read this. The College Board on Wednesday, that's yesterday, released an updated framework for its new Advanced Placement African American Studies course, months after the nonprofit testing company came under intense scrutiny for engaging with conservative critics. The revision includes more material on topics including the Tulsa race massacre, Black culture's influence on film and sports, and discriminatory practices related to housing, known as redlining. The new framework will be used when the course officially launches next academic school year. The course gained national attention early this year when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, now Republican presidential candidate, said he would ban the course in his state because it pushed a political agenda. The College Board later removed several topics from the exam, including Black Lives Matter, slavery reparations, and queer life, and was criticized for bowing to the political pressure. The latest changes address some of that criticism. The course outline includes written works about feminism and intersectionality, which is a framework for understanding the effects of overlapping systems of discrimination or disadvantage. A unit on the Black feminist movement, womanism, and intersectionality includes the 1977 Combahee River collective statement by a group of Black feminist lesbians who fought against capitalism, imperialism, and patriarchy. The College Board had faced criticism last winter for removing intersectionality from this unit. The course framework also adds Legacy by provocative poet and activist Amiri Baraka as an optional resource in a section on Black arts, after Baraka was among several prominent Black voices removed last winter. Black female writers, including Bell Hooks and Audre Lorde, also were spotted in the latest revisions. Several sources that were required course content in the framework released in February were listed as optional in the latest revision, including an interactive map of the 1919 Red Summer riots by white supremacists, a speech by Frederick Douglass, and writings between Malcolm X and Maya Angelou in Ghana. The College Board in April had said it would revise the course after the Florida controversy, promising an unflinching encounter with the facts, an announcement that some scholars interpreted as an admission that it had watered down the course. However, the nonprofit did not add back every topic downgraded in last winter's update. The Black Lives Matter movement is still not included in the final AP exam, although it is mentioned along with other grassroots organizing examples and listed among sample topics schools could choose from for further discussion. And this goes on and on to talk about different things in the course. Here's the problem. Here is the problem. The problem is you bent the knee to these demands, and now these governors have ceremoniously, hey, Quintessential, passed laws outlawing the books that are required reading for the course. So, how then can you justify saying, oh, we're okay, but the books on our list you can't teach? Some of the subject matter you can't address because Florida has already said there's no addressing of intersectionality in the great state of Florida. They've already said that. Most of the books on the list of required reading for the African American history course are not able to be taught in many states in the country. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a whole mess. But they're going forward with it. It's going to be available starting in the 24-25 school year. We'll see how this fares. I don't see it doing well. Here's the story. In the great state of New Jersey, hundreds of New Jersey police officers attended a training conference that glorified violence against citizens. Let me read this to you. The New Jersey State Comptroller's Office says hundreds of police officers went to a training conference that glorified and normalized discriminatory behavior. In a scathing new report, the acting comptroller says nearly 1,000 police officers from across the nation attended this 6-day conference. About 240 of the officers were from New Jersey, and most of the officers paid for the attendance using taxpayer dollars. Videos released by the New Jersey Office of the State Comptroller show police officers speaking at the Atlantic City Conference in 2021. The acting comptroller says it was organized by Street Cop Training, a private company founded by Dennis Benigno, a former officer who worked in Middlesex County. Video from the conference shows Benigno telling his audience, quote, I'm not talking about the guy who's fucking recording you like I am not a citizen of the United States and fucking Act 12:6. Shut the fuck up, right? About to get pepper sprayed, fucking tased, windows broken out, motherfucker. Basically what they're saying is they're basically teaching these people not to give a shit about people's rights and targeting people who record videos. Let me continue on. Instructors were taught unconstitutional policing practices, and that's according to the New Jersey acting state comptroller. Kevin Walsh. Walsh says that at least $75,000 in public funds were spent by New Jersey taxpayers for officers attending the conference. He went on to say that taxpayers paid for a training that normalized discriminatory and harassing behavior by public servants who are supposed to be held to very high standards. He also says that the conference promoted a warrior mentality. Tim Kennedy, a speaker at the conference from the United States Army Special Forces, told attendees, quote, I love violence. I love fighting. I love shooting. And I fucking love freedom. It wasn't that long ago that we were drinking out of the skulls of our enemies. Fucking rad, right? End of quote. That's the kind of stuff that they were spewing at this conference where officers from around the country were being trained on how to police us. And one of the keynote speakers, let me read again what he said, quote, I love violence. I love fighting. I love shooting. And I fucking love freedom. It wasn't that long ago that we were drinking out of the skulls of our enemies. Fucking rad, right? End of quote. Hey, V. Carter, this is what we mean when we've been saying over and over and over the entire process of policing and law enforcement is broken. I don't want to hear about following police training and protocol because whenever they kill us, whenever they assault us, whenever they violate us, they always say they were following protocol, which they are because we see in their training and their protocol, they're trained to behave like animals. They're trained to treat us as if this is a war, as if they are soldiers and the citizens are the enemy, specifically black citizens are the enemy, and their job as soldiers is to take us out because we're the enemy and we're the problem. That's how they're trained, which is why they have Army Special Forces people training them on how to police when Army Special Forces people are trained to be soldiers in a war against an enemy. So what that means is you're training police officers that the citizens are the enemy, but on the side of your squad car, you're saying to protect and serve. I'm just telling y'all how this is going, right? Hey, Amber. Hey, Xavier. Um, Another former law enforcement officer named Sean Pardazzi, who was a part of the training, was seen in a video saying, "quote Run from me somewhere along the chase, it becomes pow pow pow." End of quote. Meaning, if you run, I am going to shoot you. Just a mess. Just a mess. Now, another officer, former officer, who was one of the people that was a speaker there, said, quote, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you or let you know that I have a 3-inch dick. End of quote. Because this is what we're doing in police officer training, right? Another active officer that was a part of giving training for these 1,000 officers from around the country said, quote, I watched this car come off the highway and I fucked the shit out of the female driver. She doesn't want to fuck me back though. End of quote. Let me read that again for you. These are officers and how they're being trained, and the keynote speakers that are speaking to them and telling them what is proper procedure and protocol as an officer of the law, and then sending them back to their respective municipalities to police this way. Here's what he said about a woman that he put over. He said, quote, I watched this car come off the highway and I fucked the shit out of this female driver. She doesn't want to fuck me though, fuck me back though. End of quote. This is what we got going on. In another clip, a sergeant from Robbinsville Township Police Department shows a monkey on screen while describing a black man driving during a traffic stop. What do you want me to do with that? Let me say that again. In another clip, a sergeant from the Robbinsville Township Police Department shows a monkey on screen while describing a black man during a traffic stop. And there's another quote where their quote is saying, That's not an 18-year-old kid dressed like Jesus coming eastbound or out of Trenton. That's a 75-year-old black man with a change in driving behavior. Came into a gas station. It's just a bunch of racist and a bunch of discriminatory things and tactics that are being taught. Oh, I should tell you that one of the officers that was being trained is now involved in an investigation and with internal affairs within his own department. But you're training officers on how to police, right? Um, since 2019, this organization, Street Cop, that put on this training has received at least $320,000 from various New Jersey police agencies to do trainings in house for the police departments around that state. A mess. A mess. A mess. The latest data shows there are 72 police departments in New Jersey, staffed by all white officers, and 108 police departments across the state staffed by all male officers. Women make up 11% of the police force in New Jersey. According to um, the ACLU's legal director in New Jersey, New Jersey has a long history of racialized policing. Um, so we know communities of color are going to bear the brunt of some of the practices that were espoused at this training. And that's a quote from the ACLU's legal director. Now, here's the statement from that organization, Street Cop, that organized and put on this training. Here's their statement. Here's a statement from them to CBS News. Quote, Street Cop, the largest and most praised police training organization in the United States, has been subjected to a lengthy investigation of a conference it held in Atlantic City in 2021. One of the many hundreds of trainings it has held for tens of thousands of police officers nationally. Let me stop right there. They have trained tens of thousands of police officers nationally. They have had hundreds of police trainings around the country. These people have trained tens of thousands of police officers nationally. Let me continue with the statement. The officers who attend Street Cops programs routinely praise it as one of the best trainings they have ever received, providing them with skills and insights that are simply not taught in the academic setting prior to graduation. That is why so many training attendees encourage other law enforcement personnel to attend future sessions and thereby better hone their law enforcement skills. The New Jersey Office of the State Comptroller, through its Police Accountability Project, published a report criticizing Street Cop for allowing profanity and other inappropriate or embarrassing language at its 2021 Atlantic City conference during entertainment and training sessions. Long before the Office of the State Comptroller issued its report, Street Cop determined to impose stricter standards on colloquial and jocular language occasionally used by some instructors. However, there is not one single instance of the Office of the State Comptroller's report in the Office of the State Comptroller's report where we have advocated any practice that is inconsistent with quality policing. Isolated excerpts taken out of context from a week-long training are not reflections of the overall quality of the education that Street Cop provides. Street Cop has saved the lives of uncounted police officers and citizens and has prevented untold numbers of illegal drug distributions and human trafficking. It is evident, however, that some in New Jersey do not want what Street Cop has to offer. As law enforcement professionals, we are saddened when any state in desperate need of training resources for its professionals actively declines that assistance. In fact, we are praying for our fellow officers that there is relevant and quality training available to them, because the consequences of poorly training officers are devastating. While we regret any embarrassment that this report will cause our trainers or students, we pledge to remain the country's most highly regarded police training source while continually improving the quality and content of our program. End of quote. Just a mess. Oh, sorry. See, that's what happens when you don't donate to the platform. The lights go out. I'm joking, y'all. The lights go out. Oh, shit. Shit. Wouldn't that be embarrassing, though, if the lights really did go out? Hold on, y'all. Okay. There we go. These people are unapologetic in what they're doing. Unapologetic. And they are touting the fact that they are the most sought after police training entity. If they are the best that policing has to offer, it goes back to what we said. We need a whole overhaul of law enforcement, an entire overhaul. Just a mess. Here's a bit of good news in our sugar spiky news. Oh yeah, we got some good news. Always, I want to have some good news. Hold on. All right. Here's a bit of good news. Kevin McCarthy has announced what happened with Amber. I wasn't paying attention. Hey, Amber. Oh, she got final. Amber's, we already know. We have expectations that you will crush it. Girl, get your study on. We ain't worried about you. You got this. You're going to crush it. I ain't worried about it. You got this. Kevin McCarthy has announced he is resigning from the United States House of Representatives at the end of this month. Phenomenal. Great. But here's the problem for the GOP. The problem for the GOP is that means that we went from 2 weeks ago, they had a 4-seat majority when when Representative John Doe got expelled. They went down to a 3-seat majority, and now by the end of the month, with Kevin McCarthy leaving, they will be down to a 2-seat majority. I'm here for it. Let me read this. The resignation of former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, combined with other unexpected resignations and the recent expulsion of former Representative George Santos, shines a spotlight on the math problems facing the razor-thin House GOP majority. In coming months, it is in the realm of possibility that the House GOP majority shrinks so much that Republicans will be able to afford to lose just 2 votes on any party line issue, depending on timing of resignations, special elections to fill vacancies, and which party wins control of Santos's seat. Republicans are acutely aware of the pressures of the slim majority. The House GOP conference has been plagued by multiple failed and punted party line votes on spending bills in recent months, not to mention having its speaker ousted after 8 Republicans joined with Democrats. The slim majority also heightens the importance of member absences and present votes, which change the numbers needed to pass a bill. We'll get to that in a second. Um, Representative Mike Collins of Georgia, known for posting memes on X, joked about McCarthy's departure, possibly leaving Republicans with a 2-seat majority. And Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene highlighted the perils of a slim GOP majority in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, by saying, quote, hopefully no one dies, end of quote. One of the biggest potential party line votes they may face early next year is on impeachment articles against President Biden. If the House GOP, which is planning to hold a formal vote to authorize the inquiry next week, opts to pursue impeachment articles, McCarthy's resignation at the end of the year, which he announced Wednesday, will not immediately change the GOP's majority cushion. Even with the 2 new vacancies, Republicans will keep a 3-vote cushion on any party line issues. With McCarthy and Santos gone, it leaves 220 Republicans and 213 Democrats. But the threshold for a majority will dip from 218 to 217 members. But a special election to replace Santos is set for February 17th. And the race for the Long Island seat, which Santos flipped when he won in 2022, is highly competitive. Election analysts at the nonpartisan Cook Political Report rated the special election as a toss-up immediately after the expulsion vote. If a Democrat wins the New York special election for Santos' seat, the House will be left with 219 Republicans and 214 Democrats, and 1 vacancy. Remaining Republicans could lose just 2 votes on any party line issue. But some other members are planning to make their exit, which further puts the majority math in flux. In one welcome development for Republicans, Representative Brian Higgins, Democrat of New York, is resigning sometime in February to take over Shay's Performing Arts. He cited his frustration with dysfunction in Congress when he announced his resignation. Lastly, Representative Bill Johnson, Republican of Ohio, is set to resign from the House before mid-March to take a job as president of Youngstown State University. Taking those 2 exits into account, the GOP would still have a very slim 2-count cushion by mid-March if a Democrat wins Santos' seat, with the 219 Republicans and 213 Democrats and 3 vacancies. If a Republican wins the New York election, Republicans will be able to afford to lose 3 votes on any party line measure. I was right with my math anyway. Here's the deal. You all notice that when we have these votes in Congress, what happens is you'll hear some people say present. I'm just to make the math easy, I'm going to use the number 100. Let's say there were 100 members of Congress. We know there's 435 members of the House, but let's just, for numbers and our math, just say if it was 100, right? If you have 100 votes and everyone is there to vote, right? If 10 people, hey Sticks girl, if 10 people, instead of voting yay or nay, vote present, the vote goes from being 51, because you would need 50% plus 1, right? The vote goes from being 51 to win to being 46 to win. Why? Because instead of it being out of 100, it now becomes out of 90, because 10 people said present, but they're not voting. So once those people say I'm present but not voting, that changes the number. So now you don't need 100, you need just 90. So you will go from needing 51 votes now needing 46 votes. I know that kind of got real math like and real confusing, Now, if you couple, so that's what they're talking about with the present votes. But if you couple that with the fact that you have these people that are leaving Congress right now, the vote for the number of voting members of Congress is 434 instead of 435 because of the expulsion of um, Representative Santos. When McCarthy resigns, you will then go from 435 to, 434 to 433, which now changes the number. You got me? You see where I'm going with this? So now we have 220 Republicans, 213 Democrats, and now we end up with a very slim majority. So it's a lot of math that has to math. I don't want to get caught in the weeds with that, but I'm just saying, if the right amount of people resign and the right amount of people are absent, you could see a vote put on the floor to relinquish the chair and have Hakeem Jeffries with enough votes from the Democrats to take the seat even before November's election. We'll see. We'll keep you posted on that. Well, that's our good news. Here's more sugar spiky news. The parents of a second grader have filed a federal lawsuit claiming that a deputy in Laramie County, Wyoming, violated their son's civil rights. Edited footage of the incident shows the school resource officer tackling the 8-year-old to the floor and admitting to giving him a bloody nose during an incident at Freedom Elementary School in Cheyenne, Wyoming last year. The officer, Laramie County Deputy Benjamin Jaquat, further intensified the situation by threatening the 8-year-old boy with jail, causing the elementary school students' fear to escalate to the point where a nurse was called to tend to him. According to the lawsuit, in February of 2022, the child, who is identified in the records only as JD, has been spending his lunch recess in the principal's office in accordance with his customized individualized education plan, or IEP, issued because of his neurodivergent disability. After lunch on the day of the incident, as the second grader sat at a desk in the hallway, he received a reprimand from a teacher and a principal for his remarks to a cashier in the school's lunchroom. The deputy joined the group. Without being asked to intervene in the conversation or to enforce disciplinary action, the deputy grabbed the child and forcibly wrestled him down to the floor. The claim states Officer Jaquat repeatedly slammed JD's face down on the floor of the conference room, causing multiple bleeding facial injuries. End of quote. An 8-year-old boy. Let me read that again. Let me read the whole part again. Without being asked to intervene in the conversation or to enforce disciplinary action, without being asked. Nobody asked him to jump in. Nobody asked him to do any of this. The deputy grabbed the child and forcibly wrestled him to the floor. The claim states that Officer Jaquat, quote, repeatedly slammed JD's face down onto the floor of the conference room, causing multiple bleeding facial injuries. End of quote. Body cam footage shows the deputy holding the boy's arms crisscrossed behind his back with his face to the floor. There is video. I am not going to show it. As the boy is being smushed into the floor, the video shows the boy JD struggling to breathe, crying uncontrollably, and begging for the officer to stop. Bite me, quote, bite me again, the deputy, end quote, the deputy says as the boy yelps in pain. Ow, 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 I won't. The officer then says, no, you just bit me, so you want to try this again? End quote. That's what the officer says to him. The body cam is blurred as the officer continues berating the boy, who is already restrained on the floor, who is already restrained on the floor, who is already restrained on the floor. The boy cries out, I'm sorry, ow. The officer barks, put your legs down. Ow, I give up, the boy says while the deputy snaps orders at him to cross his legs. When the boy JD asks Officer Jaquat to let him go, the officer says, no, you don't get to win this. You don't get to win this now. It's all me. Do you understand me? And guess where it's going now? You just tried biting me. I should be taking you to jail for assault on a peace officer. End of quote. After hearing the threat of jail, the 8-year-old whimpers, I give up. The officer then says, I had to put my hands on you because you started kicking me. I put you on the floor, then you decided to try and bite me. If you were an adult, you would be in handcuffs and out in my car right now. This is the second time you tried to do something to me because I am trying to control the situation because you are out of control. The partial video shared with the public is 8 minutes and 44 seconds long and shows him trying to calm the boy down when he seems unable to catch his breath. In addition to this exchange, Officer Jaquat tells another person that the blood he sees belongs to the boy. Quote, he bit me right around here, but luckily I moved. That's how he got the bloody nose. He then says once the nurse frees up, she needs to come look at his nose. Hey, Miss Kiki, I'm not showing the video because it is highly triggering. That's why I'm not showing the video. Remember what I said. This is an 8-year-old boy. It probably should go without saying that the boy is black and the officer is white. It should probably go without saying. At the time of the assault, the student was not suspected of any crime, was not under arrest, and did not possess a weapon. Once again, he inserted himself. No one asked him to come over there. Nobody asked him to insert himself. He did that on his own. When the boy's father, Ishmael DeJesus, asked Officer Jaquat why he assaulted the boy, the officer answered, because, quote, because as a law enforcement officer, that's my primary function. End of quote. No, your primary function is not to assault people. The complaint was filed by attorney Matthew Holtzman, who pulled data from a written report by the principal. It named the Laramie County Sheriff's Office and the deputy who was working as a school resource officer at Laramie County District 1 Elementary School on Francis E. Warren Air Force Base as defendants. The attorney says the assault has traumatized the young boy. Quote, JD is still trying to process this and recover what happened to him, and he has nightmares about this. It's something that has truly changed the person he was, a little boy that was growing up and becoming a third grader. The physical injuries, for the most part, have healed, but the psychological trauma is significant. He is in intensive therapy for treatment on this specific event and how it has impacted his life. End of quote. The attorney also mentioned that the family had to move to a different Air Force base outside of the state after the incident because the child suffered serious and continuing psychological injuries as a result. Lawyers for the parents state that while the footage is disturbing, there are portions of the assault that were purposely deleted from his camera in an effort to conceal his wrongdoing. As per the lawsuit, the deputy remains employed by the Laramie County Sheriff's Office. Nevertheless, Laramie County School District 1 has stated the deputy is no longer assigned as a school resource officer in any of their schools. Another aspect highlighting the deputies' actions and underscoring their potential criminality is that Wyoming law explicitly forbids the use of prone restraints in schools. The family wants to take the case to trial, hoping the officer is held accountable. This is what y'all have going on. An 8-year-old, a big ass, grown ass man doing this to an 8-year-old. Exactly. Exactly, SJ. He obviously attended this street cop training that we were just talking about. He obviously knew protocol and training. Clearly, a mess. I got two more stories and we're out of here. A teacher has been suspended after allegedly punching a 10-year-old black student while they were in a corner, and the parents confronted the school officials by saying, "What happened to our son?" Let me read this. A teacher in the United Kingdom was suspended from her job after she was accused of punching a 10-year-old black student. The educator at Christ the King RC Primary School, located in London, England, faced disciplinary action amid an ongoing investigation. The allegations were brought to light from a viral video posted on X. A woman who claimed to be the student's aunt shared a 1 minute, 40-second clip of the parents expressing their concerns about the November 10th incident to the school's head teacher. Quote, "What happened to my son?" End quote. The father asked the school official in the video. "Someone punched my son." The aunt said the student had to go to the hospital after reporting severe pains across his chest and back area. The Islington Council responded to the thread, stating they are working with the school on the matter. Quote, "To be clear, we are aware of these reports and are taking them seriously," end quote, the council said. During an interview, the father shared his son's account of what happened. He said his son was in the hallway when an incident broke out on the playground and he was looking to see what was going on. He just noticed a strong push which took him off balance, and then that push came from a member of staff, an adult. He turned around and said, "Don't touch me." And then she pushed him again, and then this time confined him to a space in the corner against a wall or frame or something and started hitting him back and forth, neck, chest area, and stuff. He was trying to fend her off to stop. That's according to the reports and statement. The boy was suspended for 3 days after being accused of assaulting an employee, alleging that he pulled her hair and knocked her glasses off. The decision was reversed about 30 minutes later. About 30 minutes later, that's what it says, 30 minutes later. Another staffer present during the incident verified the student's story, according to reports. It ain't just here in America. It's all over the world. Now this is par for the course for England. Remember, what do you think these people in America got it from? The UK. Exactly. People all the only thing they know to do when they're dealing with black people is use blunt force as if we're animals because they don't see us as being human. There's no humanity. They don't see the humanity in black people. To them, we're animals. And if we're wanting to be correct, we're lower than animals because they respect their animals. They would dare hit or assault an animal, but they don't mind hitting, assaulting us, and killing us. In our last story, Zeus Network is in the news yet again. Why? Because they're promoting this. Let me put this flyer up. This is what's being promoted by Zeus Network. See anything wrong here? Y'all see anything wrong here? Anything wrong here? Anything wrong here? Now, this was originally shared by Zeus Network. Now they deleted it from their Instagram after people started dog walking them about this. But this was shared by Zeus Network. Some people are claiming that in the editing of this, they even altered the shades of some of the women to make some lighter and some darker. I don't know if any of that is true, but the fact that you will put light skin versus dark skin on here is just deplorable, just unimaginable. I don't watch the trash that is the Zeus Network. I just refuse to watch that trash. I just refuse. I just do not have the brain capacity to watch this mess. Just don't have the capacity. What do y'all want me to do with this? That's Zeus Network if y'all need them. If y'all need them. Dark skin versus light skin. Because that's what we're doing in 2023 going into 2024. What we're doing is we're promoting events, um, dark skin versus light skin. That'd be Nick Cannon if you need him. Nicholas Cannon if you should need him. Happening tonight. You can go catch it. It's in Vegas. Want to catch a flight? Go out there. It'll be happening tonight in Vegas. You see at the bottom left corner, the Zeus Network logo there. A mess. A mess. A mess. An entire mess. What do y'all want from me? Anyway, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. Like I said, I got a lot going on. I got to get down to it, get to it. I wanted to make sure I came and gave y'all some of me. Really B should be live in about an hour at 6:30, and then we'll be live at 8:30 in on Really B's channel. We'll be talking all things black cake. Okay. That's all I got for y'all. Um, yeah, I think that's all I got. Yeah. I'll be back next week. I'm out of town all weekend. So I'll catch y'all later next week. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. Thank y'all so much for being here. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.